Vols are back.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! By Tennessee, Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes the catch.
Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back is Sayre, and Tennessee can say hello, win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now. I made up my mind. I don't expect to ever look back. I'm going to stay at the University of Tennessee.
Reddit did to do, and welcome into more important issues. It is Thursday, September 15th. Vols are 2-0. You are 2-0. It is Akron week. I know we're fired up, and we're even going to talk about it. I do want to talk about it in a specific way because there's a big game coming up just a little over a week away, and it's going to be a fun one. But it is Akron week. It's going to be... All right, listen, I'm not questioning Danny White. Do we really think it's just 1,000 tickets left? Is that real?
Who knows? I have no clue.
I hope so, because I think that Thursday night game, that Ball State game, I should say, would have been more full if it was a Saturday game. Because the excitement around the season was there. So I think you're going to get kind of that first game feeling, because I feel like this is your first real home game, because Thursday games are just weird. So yeah. I think maybe that's part of it. And then it helps that your quote-unquote first home game, you're 2-0.
Yeah, I think it's – first of all, I'm fired up because it's the first tailgate.
Oh, baby.
Can't wait for that. It's another night game. We get that. And it just kind of fits in that, we have another tune-up game before we get to Florida.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's what this week is all about. That's what Akron's about. It's kind of getting those whatever you didn't like against Pitt, which I know there were some – you leave 2-0, your defense played well, your offense did what it had to do, but there's obviously some things you'd like to tune up before you see your first SEC test of the year and a big rivalry game. So, yeah, that's what this week is all about. Obviously, go in, take care of business, go win the game, pull your starters early, that kind of, same kind of stuff you wanted to see against Ball State, but also want to clean up some stuff, don't want to show too much, but do want to get some certain looks that you might see next week. So like this week is big for that, and obviously you have to win the game. I think Akron's a terrible football team. They're no App State. They're no Georgia Southern. I mean, Georgia Southern's not a phenomenal football team. They're better than Akron. I really don't know enough about Marshall. That's a team I've never paid attention to. I don't think Tennessee's one of the... I was shocked A&M wasn't on upset alert. I did not like that 17-point line. I thought it was bad. I think a lot of people expected App State to have a hangover from UNC, but I think that just showed they can play with the big boys kind of deal. I know UNC isn't great, but they're a Division I ACC football team, or Power 5 ACC football team.
Yeah, they suck, and Akron sucks worse. Akron is probably the worst football team in the country, or very close to it. And not only are they already one of the worst, we're probably playing a backup quarterback also. So they won't even have their starter. Their starter got put out against Michigan State. Their backup came in, I think, threw 3 interceptions, was sacked 3 or 4 times. So they're just bad. Again, this is nothing more than a dress rehearsal for Florida. Maybe get some guys some looks that didn't really get to see the field last week against Pitt because you really didn't show off any depth or anything like that. So it's kind of utilizing that 4-game rule to not burn your red shirt.
Yeah, and also I know their backup quarterback's not great, neither is DJ Irons, but he does have probably the greatest name, definitely the greatest backup quarterback name of all time, right? Jeff Undercuffler? That is a great name.
Jim Bob Cooter?
You're right. All right. Akron's 0-1 already. Sorry. Sorry, Akron. And then Joe Moorhead. He was the coach that got beat by Jeremy Pruitt, right, in Neyland Stadium.
He did, yeah. Good for him.
So that's one up for Joe Moorhead, who said it
So,
would take. I think he
thank
said.
you.
Thank you.
We say thank you.
Oh, for sure. I mean, a win's a win. Is a win is a win. I'll win with anybody. I think he said like a week before he got fired. I think like a day before he got fired.
That was the Orange Britches game, right?
I can't remember if it was that or South Carolina. I can't remember.
I thought it was. I don't know.
Well, regardless, I think he said that he would take the FBI to drag him out of there, and then like 2 days later he got fired. So, and it didn't take the FBI. So a lot of talk, no walk kind of guy, Joe Moorhead. I don't know what he's doing to get the Akron Zips fired up. I mean, I don't know. I mean, LeBron James doesn't even say a word about you, and he's from your town. So that should say everything you need to know. You got every.
Well, he's from Cleveland.
He's from Akron. He's a kid from Akron.
He is. I'm just kidding, but
like his whole shtick is.
But that when he was like Cleveland, this is for you. I'm like, cool, but like you're not from. Like they just call him the home. Yeah, I think so. Okay. But still, that's like saying like. It's like, oh, I'm from Knoxville, but you're really from Maryville. Like, you're not from Knoxville. So.
Hey, nah, I'm talking about a different Cleveland. Shout out Blue Raiders. Put them on my back. Yeah, I mean, this, like you said, this is a game of really warming up. Dress rehearsal, I think is what you said. That's a great term. Landon was a theater kid, if you couldn't tell by that comment. He loved the theater. I mean, you get a chance to get, hopefully, Joe Milton in again. Because like I said, I mean, just in the course of an SEC season, you probably need him. And I hope he stays healthy. I hope he doesn't miss a drive. But that's the nature of playing an SEC schedule. Your backup quarterback's probably going to be needed. So getting him more playing time, especially before you play, like I said, a slugfest, it's going to be a very physical game regardless, I think is just a huge benefit for Tennessee just a week before Florida. Playing Pitt week 2 instead of Pitt week 3 is fantastic, in my opinion.
Yeah, Hooker had to play. Hooker went out quite a bit last year. So, yeah, especially you're going to do those design quarterback runs like you did against Pitt. I think you're going to need a quality backup in Joe Milton. And I think you do. But you want to get him those game reps, get him prepared to face some of those SEC teams because that's probably when you're going to see those design runs. I doubt you'll see any design runs on Saturday. It's like, hey,
and if it does,
get your ass down.
Yeah, if they are design runs, it's, hey, get the 3 yards we need and get down.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, yeah, like you want to see more receivers. You played 4. You only used 3 against Pitt. I think Ramel Keaton had a handful of snaps. So, you want to see kind of what you got there. Squirrel White, I know we got a question about him. We'll get to that in a second. Squirrel White, Walker Merrill, the Jimmies, the freshmen. You got Chaz Nimrod and Caleb Webb, also Squirrel. So you got some guys that could maybe earn some playing time this week. I think, the trust factors, you saw that firsthand in the Florida game. When Jimmy Callaway dropped that ball, that was the end of Jimmy Callaway for the season. Who can go out and earn some playing time, and then if they get an opportunity in Florida, can take advantage of it.
Yeah, and I think, too, I want to see more than 3 or 4 wide receivers out there with Hendon Hooker. I think you want to see them. You don't want to get into the second half, and hopefully, Joe Milton's in already, and you're not saying, well, we didn't see anybody with Hendon Hooker. Because I think you're probably going to see him regardless. I think right now it's about getting those quote-unquote first-team reps with the QB1 and getting comfortable, getting that trust with him. And so I think that's kind of what I would like to see as far as building that depth. Because like you said, you don't want to just use 3 receivers. That's not ideal. Obviously, playing time's playing time, even if it's with Joe Milton or Taven Jackson. But I would like to see him with Hendon Hooker.
Yeah.
I think that's big. And I think this is another big game, too, to build running back depth. Nothing against the first 2 guys. I think they've done pretty good this year. Pitt obviously wasn't great, especially for someone like Jalen Wright, who saw the ball hit the floor twice. You don't want that, but you do want to find a running back that if Jalen Wright's having a tough game, if Jabari Small's having a tough game, can come in and be that too. So it's not all on the other one. You don't want to be stuck. And I think with it being freshmen, it makes it more difficult. So getting those quality first team reps, quote unquote, with those guys, I think that's going to be big. And I think too, make this a confidence builder. I'm not saying to throw the playbook at them or anything like that, but get some plays where you get wide receivers, running backs in space, and let them go make plays. Let them go be confident, see the field, and Florida. Then when you throw the playbook at them, there's some confidence there.
Yeah, I think confidence is a big thing, especially run the football. You didn't run the football very well against Pitt. Jabari Small just did not have a great game. I don't know if it was just him not getting downhill or, blocking, whatever it was. He just didn't have a great day. Jalen Wright's been the better back so far this season. He's just fumbled twice. You can't do that. If you're going to do that, you're not going to play very much. So, yeah, I think this is a big game for Dylan Sampson to get some work in, gain some confidence, because I think he does have that different gear than, a Jalen Wright and a Jabari Small. I'd like to see it in a game. You saw it a little bit against Ball State, but I like to see it. Him getting involved in the passing game too. We haven't really seen that at all.
Yeah, it's been very few. I think in fact the first play right from scrimmage was a little halfback bubble screen that went for negative yards.
Great.
What was that? Is that right? Was that the first play from scrimmage?
Maybe.
I'm trying to even remember if it was to a halfback or not. I know it was thrown behind the line of scrimmage, but I can't remember who it was to.
Yeah. Yeah, I like to see them more involved in the passing game and the tight ends as well. I think Jacob Warren's been involved, but Princeton fan didn't have a great game against Pitt and hasn't really seen much action so far this season. So I'd like to see them a little bit more involved. It seems like that dump pass over the middle to Jacob Warren, it seems like it's always there. Maybe they just call it at the right time, but it seems to always work.
Well, that's the thing, too, is you're rarely is your tight. I mean, you look at the best tight ends, for example, in the league. Look at Georgia. If you want to look at college football, they're not going to be your leading receivers. But using them at the right time, and like you said, Jacob Warren's been used at the right time. Should have had a touchdown against Pitt. Got to find that extra oomph to finish out the play. Maybe one extra Craven wing or something there. Kept him back. Shout out Craven Wings, best wings in all of Knoxville. But so no hate from me.
No free ads.
I'm sorry. Hey, if you're good, you're good. Period.
I'm going to say they're not. Until they sponsor us, I'm going to say they're not.
All right. You heard it here first. But yeah, no, I think, like you said, the tight end game is there. I would honestly like to see, and maybe it's just because Hendon hasn't needed it as much. We talk about how your tight ends are such a safety valve that you should use them more often. I'd like to see them more as that safety valve. I don't even know, even in the Pitt game, it's crazy. I never want to. I'm not trying to say. I mean, we know Hendon didn't play his best. I'm not trying to say he played terrible, but he just didn't need it in the Pitt game. The only reason Tennessee struggled early on is because he just missed throws.
Yeah,
it wasn't misreads. It wasn't late early. It was just missed throws, and so I just don't think the tight end's been that needed.
Well, and the running game wasn't needed really either. No. Maybe the design quarterback runs were helpful, but
once he started struggling, you needed it to try to get more men in the box, open some things up, and whatnot. And that's when they use the QB run to do that because the run game struggled. But yeah, I mean, if he hits on those early throws, it probably opens up the run game a little bit more. Probably even allows the passing game to open up a little bit more because you're probably working in space more. And so, yeah, I mean, I think that tight ends just haven't been needed. You'll need them next week, though. You'll need them next week.
For sure. Yeah, I want to see more Brew McCoy targets. I thought he was 4 for 4 catches and targets against.
It's hard to target him when you got someone like Cedric on the other side. I guess
that's true, and that's who Hendon Hooker trusts, which is another reason you want to get some of these guys involved with Hendon Hooker. this week, some guys like Walker Merrill and people like that. If you need them down the road, you want Hendon Hooker to feel comfortable throwing to them.
Absolutely.
And I think that's going to come more and more with Brew McCoy. I just think there's screw it. Tillman's down there somewhere. I mean, that's literally what that play was at the end of overtime.
Yeah.
That last touchdown in overtime.
And it's hard to deny that that's going to continue to work. I mean, it's going to be very difficult to stop Cedric Tillman. And if you do, what are you going to do about a guy like Brew McCoy? I'm buying into the Jalen Hyatt hype right now. He's playing good, confident football. I think he's done a really good job where I think he especially struggled and Bayless kind of shined is he does a good job of finding space and being aware of where he's at on the field. And if he can continue to do that, get the ball in his hands with space, he's going to get yards and probably touchdowns too. So what happens if we stop Cedric Tillman? What are you going to do about the other two guys?
Yeah, and this offense seems to just hum when they just take what the defense gives them. They don't press, but I think at the end of regulation, we were driving a little bit. We got stalled out because we tried to run for some reason and got like a 5-yard loss. But I think Jalen Hyatt had 3 or 4 receptions, just dumping it off to him.
Yeah.
And they're just taking what they gave him. And that's been a lot. I'd like to see more kind of big plays out of Jalen, but I mean, 11 catches, like 70 yards. How can you really complain?
For sure. Yeah, Steve, we remember Georgia State. Believe me, I was in the stadium for that. Thought about going to the top of Neyland and just jumping off. That felt like an all-time low. And then I think I think that's one thing though with Josh Heupel. Has Tennessee played a game against a inferior opponent where you just said they don't have it? Whereas with Butch Jones, with Derek Dooley, with Jeremy Pruitt, it just looked like they didn't genuinely want to be there. And I understand it's got to be hard to get up for Akron. Especially a 7 p.m. game. You sit around all day. You got to play Akron. You want to go out to the bars at night. You're a college student. Yeah, I mean, they definitely got to come in focused, but I just haven't seen that level of concern with Josh Heupel's teams. Even against Bowling Green last year, they don't look great to come out, but it never looked like a loss was in the cards because you weren't playing well.
Yeah, you just couldn't hit on the big plays.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, definitely you still got to – I mean, it's still a game. You still got to go play it. You still got to be dialed in for X amount of time. But
we were not ranked and lost to an opponent like that.
Yeah.
Unlike Notre Dame and Texas A&M.
Yeah. Can we just go ahead and say never schedule App State? I mean, we almost – again, that 16 team should have won handily.
Well, I mean, there's 3 programs like a G5 that I would never, or I guess 4. I would never schedule Cincinnati, UCF, App State, and Coastal Carolina.
I don't think I would right now. I don't think I'd schedule Georgia State either ever again.
Yeah, probably not.
I mean, they just
play well.
They play well, and then they keep themselves in ball games. And I know they haven't just they beat UNC and Tennessee recently, but even between those, they've just been in games.
Yep. South Carolina was one this year that they were in.
Yeah. So yeah.
Auburn last year they were in it.
Exactly. So that's another. So how many teams is that? 5 G5s I wouldn't schedule. That's why Cincinnati's making the jump. They know they're not going to get scheduled anymore.
Yeah.
Also,
another thing.
Real quick, for all the people that they're afraid of Army, for rescheduling. First off, Josh Heupel and Danny White didn't do that. Second off, why would you want to play a triple option team the week before you play Florida? That is a scheduling nightmare anyways.
Yeah, no.
So it's not that I think Army would come in here and win. It's that injuries could pile up. It could be a good ball game for at least 2 quarters just based on the style of football they play. And you don't want this ball game to be too – if you're scheduling a G5 team, a non-Power 5 team, you don't want it to be a good ball game for 2 quarters. You're paying them 1.5 for a reason.
Yeah, especially after you have 26 quarterback pressures the week before. You want every single one of your defensive linemen to get cut all game? No, absolutely not.
Exactly.
But going back to the Akron, I think you want to keep that pressure up no matter who's in. I think that just gives opposing quarterbacks, and I'm sure that whatever you said his last name. It's long.
It's Undercuffler, I think is his name.
Yeah.
Which is quite the last name. Not a Cougar last name, but quite the last name.
But I mean, I'm sure he knows the 26 pressures. He's feeling himself a little bit this week. It's making him take a little extra care of his body. Maybe he's not getting that extra workout in. He's trying to save up. So maybe Anthony Richardson's thinking the same thing. If you're, getting 25 pressures again this week, you're knocking quarterbacks out of the game. That whole week that they're watching film, they're like, good God, what is this? But Tim Banks was dialing it up. I noticed I was rewatching the game, and I noticed, like, I think it was overtime. It was second and third down on defense. He safety blitz from on the left side where Jalen McColl is at. He blitzed and came off the edge and pressured him and made him throw a bad throw. And then the next play, he did the exact same thing, but to the other side and did it to Trayvon Flowers, and Flowers got home for the big sack on third down.
Which, going back and looking at that, why in the world would you run play action there?
Yeah, not sure.
Trayvon Flowers came untouched, so not that would help you a ton, but you at least probably get the ball out.
Right.
Or you have I should say you have a chance to get the ball out, throw it away.
Yep.
Interesting choice. But no, I mean, I was very impressed with Tim Banks. I think you're going to see a lot of the same confidence. So I don't think you're going to, like you said, going looking at Ball State. It's going to, the pressures are going to look more like Ball State than they did Pitt, just because you're not going to see a ton of blitzes. The pressure's not going to come in the same way, but I mean, Tyler Barron, Byron Young, they have a ton of confidence. Amari Thomas has a ton of confidence, and that kind of confidence is contagious. And so those guys, the second string that comes in there, are going to be just as confident when they step in.
I heard today, or I read the other day, where somebody was like, if Keaton Slovis doesn't go down, Tennessee loses that football game. Y'all played better with Patty.
Yeah.
After y'all took a 10-point lead, Patty's the one that scored in the second, or got them over into overtime. Tennessee was ahead when Slovis went out.
Yeah, Keaton, and I think it's one of those things where he just got, and credit to Patty for being just tough. I mean, what a freaking, everyone in that locker room, no matter what kind of respect they had for him before, after that game, he's their dude. Whether he starts for them or not, everyone in that locker room knows he's going balls to the wall every time he steps on the field. He earned a ton of respect from me, and I know his teammates.
I don't really care. He sucks.
Dude. Hey, that's your teammate. Win or lose, you walk off that field and you gave him a nod. Like you earned it today. You earned it.
Yeah, but like I just don't get we would have won with Keaton Slovis. That's part of it. He got knocked out. He got killed an entire half.
No,
Aaron Beasley he hit him like 4 times in the first quarter. Hard.
Roughing the passer. No, it's
that's part of the game. It wasn't like he got hit on a roughing the passer or a late hit out of bounds. He got hit just about every single play.
Yeah, like you said, it's just a part of football. I mean, you can argue turnovers shouldn't happen, quote unquote, but they do. Yeah, like how often does Jalen Wright drop the football? He did it twice. It's just one of those things.
How often are we going to muff a punt?
They weren't forced fumbles either, which I think is the most frustrating part for the offensive coaching staff. But yeah, it's just one of, like you said, it's part of the game, and you're going to see a ton of pressure Saturday night. And one thing I'd really like to see, because you have to nail down, you have to figure out your defensive backs. And I'm not going to call it anybody by name, but you got to figure out, let's just say, defensive backs as a whole. And I want to see rotation.
Yeah,
you got to figure out some guys.
Yeah, see who you got there. Christian Charles, get in there. Brandon Turnage. D. Williams is hopefully back. That's what Josh Heupel was saying, that he's working his way back. So hopefully you get him back. He's just another kind of added bonus in that defensive backfield. Honestly, I want to see more of Wesley Walker. Whether that's at star or at safety. I mean, I just don't think Tennessee's super athletic in the back end. I think Kamal Hadden is good. Other than that, I think anybody's job is kind of up for grabs at this point.
Yeah, I don't entirely disagree with that. Yeah.
I guess I shouldn't say up for grabs, but you haven't showed me that you're the clear-cut starter either.
Well, and you still have to have rotational pieces in there too. If you're asking a safety to play 4 quarters without coming off the field in this style of the style that Tennessee plays, that's not helping them out. So I mean, even if you're not talking about starters, you still want to find some guys that can come in, don't miss a beat type deal, and play football. So I think, yeah, maybe a job's not up for grabs, but there's playing time up for grabs. I would hope.
Yeah. If somebody sees a completed pass and knows exactly who it was on before they see a number, that's bad.
And if it's like Ball State, because I know a lot of hate was going one side for Ball State, and looking back and watching that game, I at least said, credit to him. He made the tackles, wasn't ideal, but then you go back and look at Pitt, a lot of missed tackles, a lot of just dumb.
It's got to be a confidence thing.
Yeah.
I mean, he's playing too far off. And
Yeah.
for those of you who don't, we're talking about Warren Burrell. He's playing too far off for my liking, especially if you're bringing the pressure. Don't give them an out.
Yeah.
I understand don't get beat deep, but you can't just give up completions and first downs.
And I was okay with it against Ball State. I think when you're trying to get tuned up for Florida, and if you're in man, go press man. To say your corners are better than their wide receivers and make them throw it over you. I think you should be able to say that about this Akron football team.
Yeah, I'd like to see Jabari Small get going too. It just seems so forced a little bit right now. He just hasn't looked like even last year. I thought he looked good. He was injured, but he put on some weight this year. But he hasn't. He's broken a little bit of tackles during Ball State, but he didn't have any running room against Pitt at all.
Right.
So yeah, get him going. I think that's just going to help this team out if they can find some kind of balance to this passing attack, because that's what they want to do. They want to throw it all around the yard, but they also need to go get a yard or two on third and short, second and short, things like that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Who are some guys that you want to see kind of play a little bit more this week?
Oh man. I like what you mentioned defensively. Wesley Ward. I'd like to see some more Joshua Joseph. Guy that made a couple of plays in Ball State was in plays, I should say. Maybe not made plays, but involved in plays. Guy that I think could be an impact later on in the season. So maybe get him going defensively. I think Christian Charles. You gotta want to see a lot of Christian Charles this week, right? Regardless of how the other guy plays, I think it's a guy you should want to see. And offensively, there's no one that really stands out to me that I would necessarily second, third guys that I want to see. But like you said, get Jabari Small going, and then not a specific wide receiver, but how we mentioned earlier, I want to see there should be a groups of wide receivers with the ones this week, in my opinion.
Yeah, I want to see some Jimmy Callaway, some Squirrel. Walker Merrill seems to, have some confidence. Jimmy Holiday looked good when he caught that pass from Joe Milton. Let's see it. But yeah, I'm with you, Joshua Joseph. Dylan Sampson is another guy I want to see. I just think you need more running backs, especially if you got a guy putting it on the ground and a guy that's not really run the ball well. You definitely need a third running back. So I'd like to see some Dylan Sampson, Christian Charles, Wesley Walker, and then punt returner. This is a question, so I'll go ahead and get to it. It's from Dub himself. Find it.
Man.
Is there any chance we see Squirrel White at punt returner this year? D. Williams is listed as the other punt returner, so I mean, I think they're probably just going to roll with Trayvon Flowers, but I'd like to see D. Williams in there because he was a freaking stud as a returner in junior college.
Yeah, and I think to D. Williams, and I think there should be some other options going forward. Punt returner, you only get so many looks. And that one, credit to Trayvon. I thought he played a pretty good game overall. He always bounced back from his mistakes. That's great to see. That mistake that he made that essentially kept Pitt in the game. Obviously, some other stuff could have happened after that, but that play, you got to make the most of your opportunities as a punt returner. And that drop, the way it happened, you can't that ball's over your head. You got to let it be over your head.
Yep.
You just got to play smart because you only get so many opportunities. So Squirrel White wasn't listed on the depth chart, and I don't know if he's the answer, but I would like to see some other guys get some opportunities to show out. And that's not saying they're going to be mistake free, and maybe they get one chance and they're done.
I just feel like we haven't been explosive enough in the return game. Like kick return or punt return or whatever. Like neither of them have just looked fantastic. And I think that's one thing that really helped Butch Jones is you had a pretty good returner pretty much every single year.
Yeah, and I don't think Josh Heupel's teams have been bad on special teams by any means, but
but Bayless was a huge loss.
Yeah, and I think like you said about Butch, he had help from just talented guys returning the ball, but also special teams as a whole, outside of a few things that stand out, but we're really solid in those years, and we know it. Like that's where these close games are won and lost. You almost lost it because of a punt returner against Pitt. And getting into more slugfest here in late September, October, November, those plays become even more crucial. Ask Brian Kelly how important special teams is.
God, that was horrible.
Press the kicking game for here is where the breaks are made.
Who is your MVP through 2 games not named Hendon Hooker?
Man, it's hard to not go Cedric Tillman. I'm going to go defensively, and it's still a popular pick. I just don't think you win that Pitt game without Aaron Beasley.
I agree.
Actually, sorry, I know you don't win that Pitt game without Aaron Beasley, and I thought he played good against Ball State too. We talked about how important it was for Jeremy Banks to have a guy that can go sideline to sideline with him. Aaron Beasley's been that, and a guy that can get pressure on the quarterback. What more can you want from a linebacker?
Yeah. I'm going to go Cedric Tillman because, again, he's the best wide receiver in the SEC. Also, that brings us to our number of the day.
Number of the day? What is this?
250 is the number of the day. 250 wide receivers were ranked ahead of Cedric Tillman coming out of high school.
You love to see it.
How many are ranked above him now?
And we're ranked ahead of Cedric Tillman on Jeremy Pruitt's teams.
Yes. And I added up the 5 ranked opponents the last 5 ranked opponents he's faced. 39 receptions, 677 yards, and 5 touchdowns.
That's good. That's pretty good.
And that's Alabama, that's Georgia, that's Pitt,
that's pretty good.
Kentucky, and Florida, I think. Yeah.
I love it. Cedric Tillman. Dude, he was predicted to be an undrafted free agent last year.
I saw a thing a couple of days ago where they have going like the bottom of the first round.
I'll trust them because they know NFL team needs their NFL draft guys. That just seems really high to me for.
Yeah, it is, and who knows like how things will play out when he does the combine and stuff like that. But yeah, to be kind of like non-existent at Tennessee to now being a first or second rounder, yeah, it's pretty insane.
Yeah,
stud. 250, number of the day.
I like it. I'm gonna write that down, big old letters on one piece of paper here.
250.
Done.
We might score 250 points against Akron on Saturday.
Is that your prediction? Let's get into predictions.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hey, I got to ask you a question.
Okay.
Because I kind of want to wear, I love University Traditions. I may still wear my University Traditions hat for either the tailgate or game. I may swap out. I like to do that. So Pitt, I wore the same outfit as Ball State. I'm very superstitious, more than little stitious. But I had to change to go to the wedding, and we were losing when I changed. So can I wear a different outfit, or what are your thoughts? Because I would have stayed in the same outfit, probably.
Yeah, you can. It's fine.
Okay. All right. I just needed that reassurance. All right. Good deal. All right. Predictions. Score predictions.
I'm gonna say Vols cover. I'm gonna say
Vols cover easy.
I'm going to say 66 to 10.
I've got 62 to 10.
Okay.
Is that right? In my head? 56. 2 field goals. Yep, 60-10. 62-10.
I like it.
Ball's
Chase
covered.
McGrath with
Easy.
another couple dong punches in there.
Chase McGrath, speaking of special teams, I mean, stud. Big kick going into the half, big kick in the fourth quarter, long kick in the fourth quarter. If that's a 30-yard chip shot, you know what's on the line. Tutty's on the line. That's a
after getting a punt blocked and muffing a punt, I'm sure Mike Eckler kissed Chase McGrath on the mouth after that game.
Dude, we know him. He may have kissed him. He may have done more than that. Yeah, we know Mike Eckler's he's a crazy dude. Love him. Crazy dude. But yeah, special teams, man. Love Chase McGrath. Hope he keeps it up. Hope he keeps it up, because I'm telling you right now that those field goals could be big in a few games, and I'm gonna circle one in October that maybe a field goal could come up big, because could have came up big for somebody last week against that same opponent. I would just like to point out that wins the ball game, even though I think you still lose if you make that kick, because it's just you're playing scared. It wins the ball game.
Let's go. Oh,
We got
orange pants.
Orange, exciting.
Love some orange pants.
I need orange pants. Also need a number 5 jersey. Fall shop. My only number 5 jersey is a youth large. I am much heavier than I was then, so probably same height, but much heavier. I'm gonna need a number 5. Shout out friend of the pod, Chris Lofton, finally getting the jersey retired.
Friend of the pod. It's a great week for friend of the pods.
It is. Shout out it's friend of the pod week.
Yeah. Redmond joins Tony Vitello's staff. Just another former Vol joining that staff, and then that's an awesome video of Chris Lofton, because he was just like, why is he just calling me out and making me speak in front of the team and stuff like that? But yeah, it was really cool and much deserved. Hate that it took this long, but
it makes
better
sense.
late than never.
Now they say like why it makes sense, just because he was still playing, hard to get him to a game February through March or January through March. So
yeah, that's true.
Checks out.
I love that they're doing it for the Kentucky game too.
That dude, Slick Rick, he knows what's up. he knows about it. So I love it. Love it. I can't wait for that. That's gonna be fun. I'm gonna make sure I'm in the building for that one.
Yeah, the basketball school, Kentucky.
Yeah, exactly. No longer checkerboard school. That should be noted. Speaking of rivals, I don't want to talk about the game. We're gonna save that for next week. But officially a sellout. I don't know if you want to talk about the game. If you do, I'm sorry. You can do it. I'm gonna stay quiet. Officially a sellout. 3:30 on CBS. I'm still saying College Game Day is not going to come to Knoxville next week. They are banking on a 4-1, 5-0 team welcoming in the Crimson Tide in October. That's what they're banking on. They're saving it up for the third Saturday is when Game Day wants to come to Knoxville. They will not come to Knoxville against Florida. I'm calling it.
I just think that the options, it's just like us or Wake Forest Clemson, or they're going to do a random, James Madison versus, whoever that they played for 100 years.
I don't think they go another small school with App State being this week. I think it's Wake Clemson, and there's another – who's the other SEC matchup? Arkansas A&M?
Yeah.
Arkansas A&M. I think that could be it.
A&M?
I know, but I think
you're just going to reward them like that? Good Lord, unbelievable.
Landon,
there's no way. It's got to be Clemson, Wake Forest. I
don't disagree, but I'm saying it's not Tennessee. If you could choose Tennessee, Florida, and Florida lost to Kentucky, or a potential undefeated matchup, or a 4-1 matchup, I don't think they come to a 3-2 Tennessee team for Alabama. But they come to 4-1, 5-0 Tennessee versus Alabama.
Well, I think College Game Day, I think it hurts us that Florida lost to Kentucky.
Yeah, I think if Florida was undefeated, Tennessee was undefeated, they probably just eat it and come here and say, if we miss out on third Saturday, miss out on third Saturday, or they come back. because they've already done Alabama and Texas. Like it's not not above them to do that.
Yeah, that's why I think they go ahead and do it so they don't have to like do Alabama again.
You don't think ESPN wants to put Alabama front and center again?
God, not after the way they played last week. Jesus Christ!
Are you kidding? You know how high their ratings have been? You know how many Alabama fans have probably called into Paul Feinbaum this week? Probably more than when he was on Alabama radio. I think they want to come, but regardless, Florida's going to be an excellent matchup. What about SEC Nation? They may come to that game. I think that's a game SEC Nation could come to. Is that what they're called? They're
snooze fest.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's fun. Honestly, I told you I hope College Game Day chooses Baton Rouge because I wouldn't go to College Game Day if it was Florida or Alabama. I'm tailgating. But if it's LSU, like I'm going to College Game Day because we're probably going to tailgate there. But
we don't have like a decide like we can tailgate wherever.
Right. So I'm like, we'll go to College Game Day until noon and then go tailgate. Like that's totally cool with me. I would love for it to be Baton Rouge, but this is going to be an exciting matchup. Florida's, still a good football team. Like I said, slugfest, and it's a rivalry that is definitely ahead of Tennessee. They've only had one win since 2004. It came in Tennessee's best year since 2004. And so Tennessee's behind the eight ball when it comes to this rivalry. This is Tennessee's game to win. I think there's a lot of mental there for Tennessee. Listen, it's just part of the nature of us. We want to beat Florida. Florida fans want to laugh at us. You should kind of be honored, honestly. But every year Tennessee circles this matchup. This year it feels like Tennessee's in it.
Florida does too. They beat us, 16 out of the last 17, but they still circle this game.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying they want to be like, oh, you all get up for this game. It's just another game for us. They want to act like the Alabama of it.
Yeah.
And that's not the case. Like you said, it's still marked on their calendar, but it's definitely mental for Tennessee. You can't argue it's not. We lost a 10-9 ball game in that stretch with Josh Dobbs as our quarterback. So
does it feel like 16?
I think I'm going to be honest. I like how we're winning ball games right now.
Yeah,
so it
I
may
like
feel
that.
better than 16.
We did get jumped on against Pitt, and that's something that 16 team did. They had to always come back in the second half.
Well, yeah, but that team didn't.
The 15 team.
They beat App State in overtime on a fumble in the end zone.
It's true.
I just and I've always said I've been saying this since. I said I base a lot of what I think about the season on Pitt, and I still think like you said, we talked about it going into this game. You beat Pitt, you feel really good about 9-3, and I feel really good about winning swing games later in the season. If you lose to Pitt, it's a different story. I'm not saying you can't beat Florida, but if you're in a tight matchup late, if Tennessee loses in overtime to that game, I'm thinking if we get into a fourth quarter brawl with Florida, I'm thinking Florida takes it because I don't know if Tennessee can win a late matchup. Now, if we get there, Tennessee's got that confidence. Florida doesn't. No matter what they did to Utah, they just dropped one late to Kentucky. And so I like Tennessee's confidence. I like how Tennessee's playing. I like the way the defense played against Pitt. That's why I feel better about it. Now, I'm still going to say, and I think this could be said for a lot of games, how Tennessee plays on Saturday is going to change my outlook on the season. Win or lose, I'll tailor my outlook to that. So, yeah, but this is an exciting game. This is all you want in college football. Florida fans can act high and mighty about it, but why even watch college football if you don't love this freaking rivalry? If you don't love Josh Dobbs, Grant Williams, Swiper Boy tweeting about how they're going to be at the game and want to be at the game. Peyton Manning on the Manning cast saying he wanted to be in Knoxville for it. This is college football. This is what makes it great. We've got a tailgate fired up. Shout out Jesse Berry, Smoking Butts. Shout out Austin White for sponsoring the tailgate. This is everything you dream of as a college football fan. 101,000, however many we've got in the stadium now. You're not going to be able to hear people think. The TV announcers aren't going to be able to speak. It's going to be so loud. This is college football. This is the SEC. 3:30 on CBS. Da, 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 da. Everything you want. I can't freaking wait for next Saturday. I want to get this Saturday
You got
done.
plenty of time to drink. Get inebriated before you go in the stadium. Have some beers there. I think the last time we beat Florida, there was a lot of couches being burnt in the fort.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it.
I'm not condoning it,
I don't condone it.
I'm not condoning it,
I don't.
but I also don't hate it either.
I also did do it. I would like to clarify. I did not participate.
But it was cool.
No, it wasn't.
No regrets.
Okay, every regret.
Just don't put it by a car. Just make sure, just do it in a yard somewhere.
And can we talk? Don't flip some random person's car over because Tennessee won a football game. That is so weird.
Yeah, it's not like we beat Alabama. I mean, it's again like somebody like they're like, I don't know why we're acting like we're going to tear down the goalpost. This is not a game you tear down the goalpost. This is a game you go celebrate. Absolutely.
I'm sorry, I may be alone in this, but if Tennessee wins 4-0, baby, beats Florida, goes 4-0, feels like 98. You know what they did in 98?
Tore it down.
I'm not a hey. You beat
Florida. But like this Florida team, like this isn't a team where you go tear down the goalpost. Alabama, you beat Alabama at home. I mean, just tear the whole damn stadium down.
I don't disagree.
Tear it down.
But if everybody in front of me is going and I feel a nudge on my back because the guys behind me are going, I'll be on the field too. All right?
Oh, for sure. No,
I won't lead the charge. I'm not a leader. I'm a follower. I'm just an ideas guy. I don't do the ideas.
But yeah. Also, Checker Nealon could apparently happen. That's going to be sick. Man, I just can't wait.
Waiting on the word from Danny White, guys. This is ours. Like, this is Tennessee fans. If we want to Checker Nealon, we say it's happening. It's happening. We don't need Danny White's approval. Love you, Danny, but we don't need it. We'll make it happen.
Yeah. I love Danny White.
It's not.
I
like Danny White. It's not a Butch Jones thing either. Get out.
I love it. I love it. You're using that like word. I feel like you're friend zoning him right now. It's kind of messed up.
We're in the early stages of our relationship. I don't use the L word lightly. So.
Oh, we fell hard quick. My man Danny White is putting out. I love the guy. Everything that we've really wanted, he's made sure to do. I have no reservations right now. I'm all in on Danny White. All my cards on the table.
Saying I have no reservations right now is fair. My only reservation is that I'm a Tennessee fan. That's the only reservation. It has nothing to do with Danny White.
But you're also a Tennessee fan. We trust and we fall hard.
Yeah, I think that's part of being a fan. You're all in. Like if you're not all in, are you a fan?
Yeah, I mean we fell in love with Henry Toto, and look at that idiot now.
I kind of respected him because I thought when he threw up the horns down to end the game, I thought he threw an air hump in, and I would respect that.
Oh.
But he didn't, so no respect. No respect.
Also, like, are you really doing that after you beat Texas with a backup quarterback?
Are you asking me?
I'm just kind of throwing that out there, like that thought.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, me personally, yeah, I would.
But if you're Alabama.
I don't like to think about being Alabama.
I mean, you're a 21-point favorite, and you won by a point.
I don't like to think about being Alabama. That sounds like my worst nightmare. But, yeah, I personally.
Just ask Henry, too. He wanted to go to Alabama as soon as he set foot on this campus.
Personally, in my book, a win is a win is a win is a win is a win. And Texas, this offends the crap out of them, and I'm doing that all the way out of the stadium. So.
Okay, that's fair.
No matter what the score. No matter how I win, I should say.
Yeah.
We know who the real UT is. Y'all look like freaking. My hands look like Prince Charles. Am I swole up right now?
Guys, comes to the tailgate. Also, shout out Ham and Goodies sponsoring us this week.
Good food, good cookies. Come by this week. I think you were talking about the Florida game. Definitely come by that tailgate, but come by this week too. Yeah.
We'll be at every home game from now on. Thursday was just difficult. Every Saturday we'll be there, rain or shine.
I won't be at UT Martin. I'm sorry.
God dang it, Caleb. What are you doing now? Are you going to another wedding?
Plead the fifth.
Dude, you are.
To be fair.
By the balls, man. By the balls.
To be fair, this wedding is in Charleston.
To be fair, I don't give a shit.
And it's UT. You think I would miss Alabama for that wedding?
No.
T.T. Martin. I'm going to let the Vols take care of business while
Whatever,
I
dude.
sit my happy ass in a chair in Charleston, South Carolina.
Well, I will be at the game like a real fan.
I'm happy for you.
Would you schedule your wedding on UT Martin?
I said this in the Twitter space. If I get married in the fall, I'm getting divorced that same fall.
Okay.
So, I'm going to be, y'all are going to start calling me Ross Geller. I'm going to be divorced so many times if I try to get married in the fall.
So you've already made that perfectly clear to Emily that you're.
I haven't explicitly stated that, but if she tried to schedule a fall wedding, I would just assume we don't know each other very well and we shouldn't move forward in this relationship.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, that doesn't seem to me.
You want to bring her in and we have this conversation on air?
I can see.
I'm just kidding. You don't have to do that.
All you can ask is if you would ever have a fall. Just see if she'd ever have a fall wedding.
Let's. Oh, you calling her? No answer. She was listening. She knows we're talking.
She probably could hear me.
We can't hear you, Caleb. Oh, he knows.
All right, she'll be in here in a minute.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so we can go ahead and talk college football though.
Yeah, let's get it.
And I don't know, is Dylan ready? Is he in here?
I just told him to hop on in a couple minutes, so he's going to give his bets. So I do want to mention there isn't like a great game this week, but there's a lot of like really good games potentially. The lines are ass.
Yeah, the lines are pretty outrageous. I want to keep my eyes on Oklahoma, Nebraska. You mentioned interim head coach. That always makes things interesting. And I mean, Oklahoma has a new coach. Are they the same Oklahoma? Like, what can they do? We know Nebraska's not good, but they should have been better this year than they were with Scott Frost. I think it's an interesting story.
I just don't think with Brent Venables that Nebraska scores very much.
Yeah, no, yeah, I don't disagree.
And with Jeff Lebby, I think Oklahoma's gonna score. So like, that's why I just got to go. I got to go with my gut, man. My gut's telling me Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma should win this by like 3 touchdowns, honestly. I mean, Nebraska's terrible.
I think they should. I'm just saying.
There is that factor, and that's the only reservation. There it is again.
Purdue Syracuse. I'm shocked Syracuse is favored 1.5. I haven't watched any Syracuse, so I don't know much about them. You have Notre Dame, Cal. Notre Dame's favored 11.
Is Garrett Schrader still the quarterback at Syracuse?
Dude, don't ask me questions about Syracuse. I don't
you remember Garrett Schrader? We talked about that Mississippi State game. He was the quarterback at Mississippi State under Joe Moorhead. I think he's the Syracuse quarterback.
Hate that for him.
Yeah.
Notre Dame being favored 11 at California feels like lock in Cal to cover. I mean,
look at this man.
What is this background?
This man is a copy and paste.
You sent it to me, so I figured that meant, hey, use it as a background. What else am I supposed to think?
All right, I'll make you a graphic for next week. We'll get Dilly Bet's graphic going.
Can we put like a big penis in the background of it?
I'm not against that.
That'd be hilarious.
Not using that.
We're going to do our locks in a second. I'm just going to talk about some interesting games. I know our locks will be involved in them. BYU Oregon's interesting. BYU coming off very emotional win. I have a lot of questions about that game. I know we got some locks in there.
Is Oregon good?
Good question. Like I said, very interesting game.
I don't know. I just I wish that Georgia game didn't happen because I want to pick Oregon.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
But man, they sucked against Georgia.
Too many questions.
And maybe that's everybody. I don't know.
Yes. I'm not convinced.
Ole Miss, Georgia Tech, I think is just very, again, interesting. Georgia Tech, I think, sucks. Ole Miss is supposed to people have Ole Miss as a dark horse type team this year, a team that maybe could be something. So I'm like, where does the lines 16.5? Like, it's very interesting to me. Penn State Auburn's probably the game of the week, right?
Yeah, and I think Auburn sucks, so I'm riding Penn State.
I think Auburn sucks. I don't know if Penn State's good though. All right, Emily, we got a question for you real quick. How do you want me to ask it, Landon? Would you ever get married in the fall? Would you ever have your wedding in the fall?
Well, you say no, so no.
You hear?
She said you'd say no, so no.
Yep.
Awesome.
Smart
That's
woman.
all we needed.
Thank you. Love you.
I like you cut, G.
LSU Mississippi State is an interesting one. Feels like a game Mississippi State should win, but LSU needs to win, right?
Yeah, so like that's so this game and the Texas A&M game, I think, like has kind of that desperation factor in it. So A&M has to win. And I
Miami, is that what you're talking about?
yeah, and I think LSU has to win this game.
Yeah, so that was my other could be up for.
It's at home too, right?
Yes, and could be game of the week, like game of the week material for sure.
Yeah.
A&M and Miami.
So there's not those marquee matchups, but there's like
interesting for sure.
Yeah, good opponents facing one another.
Yeah, and I honestly want to take Miami to cover. Honestly.
You got a hazy, dude?
Cheers, brother.
How many of those are you gonna have on Saturday?
0. I can't go heavy for a tailgate, bro. Get out of here. Phil's a fellow IPAer. We don't go hazies on Saturdays.
Yeah, that's just asking for trouble.
That's asking for a man sitting on a front porch in a rainstorm. Trouble.
Hey, we do play LSU this year, so who knows what will happen.
We got room at the crib if you want to. Still room.
We'll see.
Actually,
Hey, maybe
we might have filled it. I don't know.
Maybe I'll win that Dick's House of Sports
You get
giveaway
to fly
that they're
down.
doing.
Yeah, you can ditch us and fly.
How come you just don't go?
I mean, I'm not against it. I'll just be out of town the weekend before. One of the two. I'll be in Houston, so I'll already be close to that way.
Yeah, just swim on over.
All right, we're gonna do our locks of the week. I'm really not on many games outside of my locks. There's just not a lot.
Oh, you forgot a big game.
Did I?
Michigan State, Washington.
I was gonna chime in and say I thought that's my game of the week. I think it's gonna be the best to watch.
Yeah, Michael Penix Jr. at Washington.
Maybe. I don't.
I just think it is cool. Like it's not a normal matchup that you see.
That's fair.
The line's kind of weird. I don't like the 3.5. That just sucks. I hate it.
I do. I see it being a pretty tight game. So anything that's not a field goal or a touchdown, I like.
Well, that's a pick'em game. They're just telling like whoever's at home gets that -3 or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, Caleb, you want to go a lock around? How many locks you got?
Everyone should have 4, right?
Okay, I have 4. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
So yeah, we'll go back and forth. We'll snake draft it. I can go first if you'd like, and I'm going the more important issues lock. I don't know if Landon wrote it. I know we called it the podcast lock last year. I don't know if we're doing it again. It's Coastal over Buffalo, 59.5. You give me anything under 60 for Coastal, I'm riding it till I die. And I'm probably taking over. If it's 62, probably taking it. 59.5. I should have looked at what the lines were at today. I got that on Tuesday, I think. Coastal scores points. Buffalo should be able to score. I'm taking 59.5 every day of the week.
Okay.
Solid.
I'll go next. I already said this. Oklahoma, Nebraska. I got it at -13.5. I think they win by 2 touchdowns at least. I think it's down to 10.5. It's favoring Nebraska, so maybe, huh?
It's moved down again. It moved down to 11.5.
Yeah, now it's 10.5. So yeah, it's going toward Nebraska, which I just don't get.
That's based
really.
on public. That's based on public money.
Oh, for sure.
Vegas is hedging, so you're probably in the clear.
Yeah. So.
Although that does make me feel more comfortable about my bet, which would be the under for that game, Nebraska and Oklahoma. As long as Nebraska's defense shows up, I think it hits.
What's the number?
Last I saw was under 67.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, I like that.
I like that too. Because I just don't think Nebraska's going to be able to score. So I think you're
exactly. So if they hold them to like 40, 45 points, I think Nebraska might score a touchdown or two, but more than likely that should hit.
Blowout.
Oh
so
yeah.
you're
thinking Oklahoma covers, right?
Yeah, you should do same game parlay then.
Yeah, double dip it. Double dip.
Let's double dip it then.
Let's
The
get
Billy
it.
Bet's double dip.
All right. Dylan, you go ahead and go your number 2. Go Snake.
Going back to actually, I'm gonna save that one for later. Honestly, I also I don't normally do unders because who likes to root for the under? But Georgia and South Carolina Junior or USC Junior, I should say, under 55. I think that hits. Georgia's offense has not impressed me. South Carolina hasn't been terrible on defense, so who knows?
Okay.
Dang, no impressive with Georgia's offense, huh? You don't think the mailman's the man?
Yeah,
the man.
you don't like how they scored like 50 points on Oregon?
I mean, it's
impress
Oregon,
you?
though.
That wasn't good enough for you?
South Carolina's defense is garbage.
Hey, it's a risque pick, but it's one of the ones that I like.
All
SEC football, I feel like,
All right, that's a fair point.
they might get the juices
There
going.
was
It's
a-
week 3. They're starting to figure some things out.
There was a close game a couple years ago where South Carolina won on a field goal, right?
I know Rodrigo missed one in that.
Oh,
game,
and
so
he
I
missed
assume-
one. Yeah.
I assume one by a field goal, but I can't remember.
And now he's no longer on the Colts. He got cut. So can't be missing field goals, man.
Well, they're
That's
also
your job.
discriminating against people who are blind, which is quite rude. He has a
Hmm.
lawsuit case for sure.
Gotcha. Is it my turn?
It is.
My turn. I'm going to go USC minus 12.5 over Fresno State.
I like it.
Fresno State got beat by, I think, Oregon State over the weekend. So USC's just going to score.
I like it. I'm gonna go opposite of Dylan in the first one. I did get it at different points. I like the over in the South Carolina Georgia game. 52.5. I got Georgia scoring at least 30 in this game.
Georgia might score 52.
Seriously. Sorry, 40. I didn't mean 30. I've got Georgia scoring 40 in this game. I didn't get to watch that Samford game, but I put way more into what they did against Oregon than what they do against someone like Samford. So that I like their offense to score points. I like South Carolina's offense to score something. And that's why not that they're gonna go and make I don't think they make a game of it like 19. But I think I like South Carolina to score some points. I like Georgia to score at least 40. So I just need 2 touchdowns from Spencer Rattler and company. That's all I need.
And see, that's who I also don't want to bet on to put up any points is Spencer Rattler because
he gets at least one tutty. He's due a tutty a game.
4 picks and
I mean,
tutty.
Preseason Heisman list,
but
you'd
he's
think
due
he
a
would,
tutty.
but who knows? Who knows?
We need a regular Tom Tutty and a garbage Tom Tutty. That's it. That's all I need.
Fair.
I like competing picks. All right. My next one. Sorry, Landon. I only said not to copy because I wanted to fade Chad, and I didn't want him to steal your picks. So I've got USC to cover Fresno State. This is long before you had it, if that makes you feel better. This is all Tuesday stuff.
I had that way before you.
No, you didn't. USC, I think.
Da-na-na-na. Da-na-na-na. Da-na-na-na.
Is that their fight song? I'm very confused.
USC. It's South Carolina,
South Carolina.
but yeah.
Little sandstorm action.
Different
Yeah.
USC. USC Junior sucks.
Yeah.
Shane Beamer sucks. He's a terrible
He's weird.
person. I don't know.
Did you hear the story? Him talking to the media about the neighborhood where all the Georgia coaches live?
Yeah, it kind of sounds culty to me.
Yeah, sounds like you sell your soul.
Is that a swingers community? I've got questions.
It might be, honestly.
It is South Carolina. Isn't that where we left on that cruise?
Yeah, we did leave out of Charleston.
But this is in Athens, so
Yeah,
yeah,
Georgia.
it's even.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were still talking about South Carolina.
Close to South Carolina.
My next one is I'm going Coastal to cover.
I like it.
I know they didn't have a great game against Gardner Webb, but Buffalo lost to Holy Cross this past week.
I may double dip on that.
It's minus 13.5. That's where I got it. I think it's maybe up to 14 now, but
And
yeah,
why,
loves.
That's why I double dip though. Like if they win by 13.5, they probably hit the over. So
Yeah, I don't think
Agreed.
Coastal's as good as they were last year, by a long shot. But I think Buffalo is terrible.
And their offense is still designed to score points.
Yeah.
So, and they've still got Mullets on their side.
Not bad. And does that make me up? Or is it
you
Landon?
up.
And then you've got your fourth after that.
All right. So I really like Ole Miss this week. So I've got them to cover. I think it should be a pretty smooth going game for them. Hate Lane Kiffin, but it is what it is.
What'd you get that at?
16 and a half.
So that one hasn't changed. Or when did you get? Did you get it today? I looked at it today.
I looked at it earlier.
That's just so many points.
That's a lot. That's why I didn't like
it.
And
Georgia Tech has a good quarterback. I don't think they're a good football team, but Jeff Sims is good.
I know
Georgia
Alabama
Tech's
should have won, but 20 points is so much. That's why I stayed away from that one.
What did Georgia Tech do last week? I watched them against Clemson. They weren't impressive, but Clemson's defense is good.
Georgia Tech has not been scoring points since they stopped running the triple option, so I've got no faith that they're scoring points.
All right, number 4.
What is that under at?
Ole
That
Miss,
might be a good
Mississippi
one.
State.
Uh,
60 something. They're 16.5-point favorites.
I
let's
saw
see if I can
one.
find it.
I saw one
I'm
over
gonna say 66.
this week, and it was like 70 points. I'm like, what in the
Who
world?
was it? I'll take that under, no matter who it is.
I think it was USC. Fresno State was up there.
Fresno State can score. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah.
Ole Miss, Ole Miss, Georgia Tech's under 63.
Oh, that's close. I think I take that.
Yeah, I don't know.
They do have a DJ Durkin in there anymore. Who is it now? I can't remember.
So do I need to go twice since Dylan already said his?
Dylan goes twice.
I've got my last one, which brings us back to Michigan State, Washington. I think Michigan State covers. I really think they might win, but to be safe, go cover plus 3.5.
I just don't like. I try to do so much research on that game, and the only thing I got was mixed reports. It was like, who's
Fair
got the
enough.
better quarterback? And it's definitely Washington. But who's got the better defense? It's definitely Michigan State.
Fair enough. Like I said, it's my game of the week, so I gotta throw some money on there.
And did Washington lose?
I thought they won last week. Did they lose?
I
think
think
they
they
won.
lost. I think they lost to Oregon State.
Ooh, I think they did. You're right. I didn't realize they played Oregon State, but I'm pretty sure Oregon State won. So I think you're right.
Real
quick, what? Oh God, I was gonna ask a question about Michigan State, but I don't remember now. Go on.
My last one is the old little brother, Vanderbilt, Northern Illinois. I'm going Vanderbilt plus 2.5.
I meant to mention that they are underdogs in a freaking. That's a MAC team.
Yeah.
Underdogs to a MAC team. Tennessee's favored by 40 something. I know Akron's.
Yeah,
the
Mike
worst
Wright
team
is
in the
going to
MAC.
run all over Northern Illinois.
My God, I don't hate that pick, but
And
man,
they do
I'm
have to win
against
this
it right
game to hit their win total for the season. At least what it started at. I think it was 4. So like they have to win this one, and then I don't remember the rest of their schedule, but they'll have to sneak out another one to hit that.
I think I might take money line. I think plus money. I'm taking money line.
Okay.
But
Money
plus
line on Vandy.
plus 2.5 is a lock.
Yeah, for sure. I was telling you, Washington won. By the way, they played
They
Portland
did.
State. Yeah, they played Portland State.
Portland State. Who played Oregon? Oh, was it? It was Fresno State.
Yes.
Fresno State
played
lost to Oregon State. That's right.
Oregon State and USC, probably outside of Utah, probably two of the better looking teams in the Pac-12 right now are playing at. I think it's a 10:30 game on the Pac-12 network. What is that about?
Gross.
Insane. My last lock. I love this one. Texas Tech to cover 10.5 versus NC State. NC State is awful.
NC State sucks.
It's
Yeah.
awful.
They burned
It's a
us.
lot of points. I don't love it, but right now it's betting against an awful team that cost me money in week 1.
That's what I was about to say.
That's what I'm scared of, though.
Yeah, revenge is a terrible way to do this, but this is a revenge game for me. This is a revenge game. All revenge. What'd you all do in week 2? Week 2.
I think I went.
On locks, I went 2
Locks.
and 2.
I think I went 2 and 2 also.
Oh, we're tied then. I'm gonna try to keep track of them. I went 2 and 2 as well, so I can go back.
6 and 3
watch.
overall though, so plus money.
Yeah, I hate this.
I won 3 freaking units. In
This
college
even.
football.
I like going odd locks.
I was up 3 units in college football. I don't know how many I was up in the NFL because I hit the only thing I bet on Sunday were those live bets that I got lucky with and hit, and then lost a lot of money on Monday Night Football because I'm a freaking moron and overbet the crap out of it.
Does it help you that the Broncos fumbled like 14 times?
No, it hurt me, Dylan. I had Javonte Williams anytime touchdown scorer in solo and parlay. And then Russell
Who
Wilson
scored the
still
first
threw for
touchdown?
like 320.
Horvath.
Tight end. Yeah.
Good Lord.
Horvath, however you say it. Sony Michel had his chance and he didn't get anywhere. So that's who I had for that. Like I said, him or Eckler. And I haven't seen much of Eckler.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Broncos game. Sorry.
Oh, no.
Great. I have Juju Smith-Schuster in my fantasy team, and he is nothing.
I looked at my fantasy this week.
Are you playing me this week?
No, I'm playing Jesse, I think.
Oh. I was hoping I'd squeak out another W. Mine came down to the wire.
You wouldn't have to squeak it out against Landon.
Dude, my team
His
sucks.
team is terrible. Yeah, don't worry about squeaking anything out against him.
Well, I mean, when I got
At least I'm going to beat Riley and Chad, probably.
hey, you better not come in last. That punishment might be brutal.
Dude, I saw a punishment today that is kind of like.
Are we doing that? It seemed like everyone agreed.
That's fine.
Oh yeah, it's.
I saw one today, and it wasn't like it was funny, but wasn't bad. And they made the guy like spin a wheel, and he had to do a spray tan, like a bad spray tan.
That's a good one.
Like Texas orange.
Punishment is.
Yeah, and it's going to be in the middle of like winter.
Like December.
Yeah.
I think our punishment is just enough funny with just enough like just not fun.
So you're gonna have to do it like next football season. It's gonna be a year before we get to that.
Yeah,
point,
it'll
right?
be like
Right.
next August, September. I can't remember.
They should have to
First
do
home
it
game.
when it's not a football game.
I couldn't do that to someone. I think I want it to kind of be fun. So what we're doing for everyone listening to Dutton, the loser has to get in a canoe for the first Tennessee football home game, and we're gonna make I think we got to make it partially brutal, and we'll let them float at least a little bit. Like it'll be upstream from Calhoun's, but you got to canoe all the way to Calhoun's, and then join the Vol Navy. We'll all go out to Calhoun's that night, drink with them, hang out, and then that person has to sleep in their canoe overnight. So just enough like miserable, just enough funny. Like it's gonna be fun. It'll be a good time.
Suck.
Oh, it'll be brutal.
It'll be terrible.
We have some people in our league that's not gonna do it though.
And we kick them out. That's what we do.
Yep.
That's cool. Cool.
we kick 'em out.
The
We make
Brophy
them
has
do it.
strict standards.
Not the Brophy anymore, but yeah.
What do you mean? Oh,
It's
you changed it. The
yeah,
XU.
XU. I don't even remember. I made it so
XU
big.
AFL or something like that.
It's an absurd name.
I saw you handed off the trophy earlier, or
Yeah, I
are
got it.
handing off the trophy.
I gave Jesse the other one, so we're gonna trade off at some point. But yeah,
Cool.
we'll get that going. Dylan, appreciate you. Locks. I'm gonna be honest. I think I like Landon's the best. I think Landon wins this week. I mean, I'm rooting for mine. I'm rooting against Vandy, but I think I like Landon's locks the best. So
Fair. We'll see how the cookie crumbles. But
So
appreciate you boys
out of
for having
the,
me.
I want to ask about 3 games, and they're Auburn, Penn State, Michigan State, Washington, and Miami, Texas A&M. Who would you have in those 3 games?
I'll start with Auburn. Auburn at home, 3-point dog, right? Penn State minus
Yes.
3.5. It being a home game makes it that much more interesting to me. We're talking
TJ
situation-
Finley also has 4 interceptions and 1 touchdown on the year. I don't know if that helps you.
Auburn's terrible. Auburn's not good, but you're talking about Penn State, who's not great either.
That's true.
Purdue's an underdog to Syracuse this week. Yeah, I mean, I don't. I just
Auburn.
this is-
When's Brian Harsin going to get fired? I mean, is that like this week?
They tried.
Is that coming up?
They tried. So I think I really think I like Auburn to cover 3.5. I think I would even maybe float like half a unit on Auburn money line just because it's at Jordan Hare, and that's pretty much it.
See, I think I'm on the flip side of that. I think I'm leaning Penn State. It didn't even make my list of lines that I liked, so
I
that
didn't
tells
like
you
it. Yeah, no, I didn't touch it.
tells you
No,
about that.
I
but
took Penn State money line, which is like minus 150. So I just put more money on it.
That's not bad. I'd still probably.
I don't like the 3.5 though. That just makes me sick to my stomach. So
I hear you.
Michigan State, Washington.
I've already told you time and time again, Michigan State, baby.
I like
They at
Michigan
least
State to
cover, but I do like them to win as well.
Well, you mentioned that they had the better defense. I mean, I like Penix Jr., but if I was betting against him or Michigan State's defense, I would pick Michigan State's defense.
Okay, that's fair.
Agreed.
Wait, what
Miami, Texas A&M.
What would you do?
What would I do?
Oh, man,
I want to pick Michigan State.
Yeah. Cover,
But I'm
or
also
you gonna go
like-
money line? You gonna float a money line?
I hate that I just love people on the road because it usually never works out that way. I think I'll pick them to cover.
All right.
Plus 3.5. Miami, Texas A&M. This is the most confusing game to me
Yeah,
That's a hard one.
because Texas A&M,
A&M losing last week, and then
yeah, they're desperate, but dude, Haynes King sucks. I'm so glad we didn't get his ass. He's horrible.
Haynes King is not good, and that
We got Harrison Bailey, and we were trying to get Haynes King. We're trying to get both those guys on campus.
Yeah.
Ugh, God, what a freaking choke job.
I think I almost
Correct.
want to take Miami to win it.
It's like plus 170, so it's good money.
Wow, I thought it'd be better than that. I might just take him to cover then. I don't know if that's enough for me to float money on that. I'm not saying Miami's that good of a football team, but I think A&M's that bad of a football team.
Is it at A&M?
It's at A&M.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go A&M to win. I don't trust Miami.
Yeah, I'm not
And
betting. I'd like to say I'm not betting on that game. I would
Yeah,
like
I'm not
to
either.
preface that. I'm not betting on that
1,000%
game.
staying away.
But if I had to, I think I would, because the money line's not good enough for me to go on that big of an underdog. I think I would take Miami to cover. If I had to.
You also got to have these games where you can just enjoy football. You don't have to get pissed off about it.
Exactly. We can get pissed off on Friday night games. I'm trying to remember who it is.
Louisville, Florida State, and Air Force, Wyoming.
Ooh, Louisville, Florida State. Let me pull up that one. What are we looking at there?
I think it's like 2.5.
Ooh,
Florida State.
I might take FSU to cover. Or let me pull up the over-under. I love betting overs on Friday night games. Nothing better. Friday night's always mayhem.
Dude, where's the Maction at?
We don't get that.
That's what I was about to
We
ask.
don't get that till week 4 or 5. That's later in the
Okay.
season, boys. Come on.
Well, it needs to hurry up and get here.
I
Yeah,
don't
we need some
disagree.
Thursday night
I
football.
can't wait to lose money on Thursday night football. Action. Thursday night action.
All right. Well, that's all I got for college football.
That's it for me. Over under 57. Stay away from that. Florida State to cover. Putting a unit on it right now.
All right, boys, I'm hopping out of here. Thanks again for having me.
Dilly Bets.
I will
Appreciate you.
last tidbit for me. I agree with what Landon said. I think we should start going 5 locks just so we have an odd number.
We win. Money.
Boys, I've always done 4 locks. All right, we can go 5. We can go 5.
Whatever y'all want, but again, appreciate y'all having me. So talk to y'all later.
Tom Dillon, we'll get you a background next week because that one sucks. I don't know
See you,
who
brother.
I don't know who made it. Probably the guy in the white hat. All right, I'll see y'all.
See ya.
This is a sick hat, by the way. Shout out Volunteer Traditions. Not as good as University Traditions, but it's good.
I think if I were to pick a 5th one, I'm going Penn State.
If I was to pick a 5th one, I think I steal from you. I think I take OU to cover. I think.
Dude, so like when I usually look at the lines on Monday, I pick like 3 that I like.
Mhm.
And I go ahead and get those.
Yeah.
And if I still like them where they're at on
Double dip.
Friday, I dip.
Yeah, double dip. I love that. I love doing that too. I usually wait till Saturday to double dip because I feel like that's where you see them move the most. Saturday morning. But yeah,
Dude, I kind of want to pick Georgia to cover this weekend
That's
too.
just so many points.
It
I
is
just
a lot of
don't like
points.
putting money on that many points. I don't
agree.
entirely disagree with what you're saying. That's just so. I know my 5th to get away from you, and I know a lot of people would bet against it because of the emotional win they had. App State to cover Troy, 12.5. At home, college game day, 12.5 in Boone.
Or do they shit the bed?
They aren't going to shit the bed. They aren't. They're not going to, Landon. I think I like Wake Forest to cover Liberty too.
Oh, I picked
16.5.
that. That would probably be my 5th. Yes, I did pick that. I already bet that.
Okay. Yeah. App would be my cover or my lock. apt to cover. Wake Forest, I might play too, especially.
Yeah, I don't think Liberty's that great. And I kind of like the over also. I don't know where. Maybe that's the 71. Maybe that's the
63
big.
and a half, but it may have been a 70 at one point.
Oh, okay.
No, because it
Yeah,
went
it
down to
wouldn't have been.
63, so it wouldn't have been 70.
Yeah.
Do they go after Hugh Freeze?
Who? Wake
Nebraska?
Forest?
SMU Maryland 72 and a half. Oh, under, right?
God, I don't
SMU
know.
Maryland? I think I'm gonna go under.
Yeah, I knew there was a fat one on there. I couldn't remember which one it was. I don't know who gets the Nebraska job. Does Matt Rule get fired in Carolina and go back to college? Or
It's week 1. I'm not ready to say that.
he's lost like 8 straight games.
Yeah, I also just don't know enough about the Carolina organization too.
He's ass cheeks.
I know they.
He just keeps getting guys from like Baylor and Temple, and I'm like, dude, why? Why are you just having to eat a roster spot? Yeah, he's just, I don't get it. And he got rid of Joe Brady. Didn't make any sense to me.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. You don't have a quarterback. You're only as good as your quarterback is.
You might have one. Let's wait and see. It's too early. SEC baseball schedule is announced. Tennessee has some big ones, especially at home. It's going to be a fun year. What are your thoughts on not having Arkansas again? I kind of don't.
I don't love it.
Like, why does the SEC do this to themselves? I don't understand.
Yeah, they not like ratings.
Right.
Yeah, you can't do that. You got to have them on the schedule. I do love the at LSU. I think that's going to be a. I mean, right now it's 1 and 2 in the country.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
So that's going to be an awesome atmosphere to be a part of.
At A&M will be fun.
At A&M will be fun.
A&M's at home.
Yeah, A&M's at home.
Sorry. I don't get playing Mississippi State 2 years in a row.
I don't know. Maybe they want some payback for them feeding our players after we swept them. I don't know. Do they want food from the porch? Probably not going to be a lot.
Not getting it from me if I'm on the porch.
Yeah.
Good news for you. And then this one was obviously, you knew this one was happening, but man, Vandy at home. That'll be a fun weekend.
Yep.
That'll be
Kentucky at home. That'll be some revenge in there.
Yeah.
So that'll be good. Missouri just, oh God, they suck so bad. At Auburn, that'll be interesting. We'll see what Auburn's about when they don't have.
One player last year, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, pretty much.
And one player. We played Auburn last year in regular season too, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, why are you playing back-to-back West teams like that? Is that?
And we played A&M.
Did we host A&M?
No, I think we played at A&M.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Yes. Okay. I keep thinking we're at A&M this year. I don't know why. I'm looking.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't switch it up. The only new one is Florida. And so we dropped Ole Miss for Florida.
No, we played Florida. They're in the East.
Or LSU. I'm sorry, not Florida.
LSU.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know. I honestly don't know how SEC baseball schedules work, so I don't know the details that go into that. I don't necessarily. I kind of wish football would do that. Now that I think about it.
You got some good home slates.
Yeah, for sure.
Florida, Vandy, Kentucky, Texas A&M, Mississippi State. That's a good home slate. I like that.
For sure.
It makes me feel like I'm getting my money's worth.
Yeah.
Which I am anyway, but you get it.
Anything else for SEC baseball schedule? Real quick, I do wish football would do that. I think it'd be fun to play LSU home this year, LSU away this year, LSU home next year, because then you're kind of playing the same teams, sort of. I know they're technically two different teams, but
maybe they do that with, the addition of Texas, Oklahoma, which that game got erased.
Okay with me.
Yeah, whatever.
I hope we make it up with someone cool, not like Georgia going to Ball State.
I saw where NC State is needing an opponent.
That would be a fun one.
That would be cool.
And that would be a home game for Tennessee if they would agree to it.
Yes.
And I wouldn't mind playing
at NC State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that. That would be a good one. for sure.
We beat the brakes
like
off
that.
of them. But yeah.
Yeah, Tennessee's got a few way down the line scheduled. Nebraska.
Washington.
Washington's like 2028, isn't it? It's way down the line.
Yeah, it's a long ways
Nebraska's
away.
earlier than that. I want to go to Omaha. So or not Omaha.
Yes.
Lincoln. Yes. Yes. Omaha. Not for football. I don't want to play Villanova.
Right.
But Lincoln. Is it
That'd be
not
cool.
Villanova? Who's in Villanova's Cincinnati, right? Who's in Omaha? Oh my gosh. Who plays their home games at TD Ameritrade?
I thought it was like a major league park.
No, in Omaha? Is TD Ameritrade not in Omaha? What's the name of that stadium?
Is it like
It's a college team.
okay? Is it Omaha?
No, it's hold on. I'm just gonna look it up real quick. Stupidity is me for not knowing any of this.
I have one stupidity. I'll go ahead and read that while you're
Yeah, do that
looking
for
that
me.
up. It's Ryan M. Spader. He's an MLB analyst. He says, here's all you need to know about the AL MVP debate. Aaron Judge, 57 home runs. Shohei Ohtani, 58 home runs, plus game started with the 2.5 ERA. It is not that hard. Like he just added up starts and home runs to equal 58. What does that have to do with anything? Here's the thing. And like I'm a little biased, I get it, but I like the Yankees, and you just can't give Shohei Ohtani the MVP every single year just because he pitches and hits. He's not the most valuable player in the league if his team is ass. Aaron, like the Yankees aren't good. Like without Aaron Judge, the Yankees probably would not be a playoff team.
Interesting. All right.
Shohei Ohtani dominates on two fronts, and they're still not a playoff team.
But okay. To be fair, you're just trying to say that Aaron Judge should be the MVP.
Agreed. Yeah,
you're
that's
a Yankee
exactly what
fan.
I'm saying. But that's like that's what I said. I was a little biased, but still, like this shouldn't the most. It's like when Johnny Majors didn't win the Heisman. They gave it to some guy who went like 2 and 10.
Landon, I'm not gonna let you get away with that. Comparing Aaron Judge to Johnny Majors is an absurd thing to do. An absurd thing to do.
I am comparing the situation.
Absurd.
That is the equivalent to losing this. Like you can't be in the conversation. You can't win the Heisman if your team's not even ranked. You can't. No.
Okay. That's fine.
So that's my stupidity. Is that guy? You suck.
All right. It's fine with me. I've actually got two because you reminded me. Did you see where the MLB incorrectly stated that the Dodgers had clinched postseason with their win Sunday night? They had champagne in the locker room, hats ready. They come out Monday. Turns out there was a clerical error, and they did not clinch until I think it was Monday or Tuesday night. They didn't clinch until then when they won.
So they went ahead and celebrated and everything?
Yeah, I would have just celebrated twice. I mean, I wish the Dodgers had maybe double checked, but I think that's technically MLB's fault.
Yeah, that sucks. Because it's like when you get to a surprise party and like somebody ruins it, and then you like have to sing Happy Birthday after. It's just not the same.
I think you mean saying surprise.
Yeah, what I say Happy Birthday.
Yeah, I was like, I feel like you still sing Happy Birthday.
Well, yeah, like Happy Birthday. Yeah, that's
okay, yes,
yeah.
Yeah. I feel you're like, we know you know, but surprise.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, 100% agreed. Hilarious that I just smelled smoke. I hope my house isn't burning down. I'm gonna assume it's the ridiculous amount of candles we burn that just got blown out. But
dude, underrated smell. Blown out candle.
Yeah, I mean, just fire. I mean, it's fire. It's the coolest thing ever.
It smells great. I love it.
If I could be around for any historical moment, it would have been when fire was discovered, for sure. When man made fire, I should say.
Not pyro.
But my first stupidity, because I forgot, or I thought of that one when you mentioned the MLB. It's Texas A&M and how they're handling their midnight yell stuff, getting made fun of. They're throwing every video down for copyright on Twitter, and then they're posting more videos.
They made it worse.
You're just looking bad.
Yeah, you made it look worse than it already is. Everybody already saw it.
Well, and
they know you suck. That guy's not funny. I don't know why he's in charge of that.
I don't even think it's about that. But I just think it's so the people making those decisions have no awareness to what's going on. To go, hey, maybe let's take a week off from pulling these down for copyright. Because they were posting more videos. They weren't trying to bury and hide them. Like, they kept posting more from their account. I think they're just that out of touch. They're just that truly stupid to the situation.
Yeah, you can't be doing that and then lose. That's...
Yes, and also making fun of... Isn't like the whole kind of thing of Texas, like shit-kicking redneck, yeehaw, and you're making fun of redneck...
We're all from the South.
Well,
yeah, like...
And you'll hear it on Alabama week, and you'll hear it Kentucky week. Those cousin loving. It's like we're all from the same part of the country, guys.
Right.
It's so weird to me. But yeah, it's that was a very weird. And like you said, he wasn't funny. And I'm gonna be honest. It might be like a mind thing. They may use it to get opponents out of the game because I couldn't stop watching the Yell Leaders during the A&M Tennessee game, like at the stadium. I was like, what are they doing? I was just very baffled, very confused. I'd heard so much great about the environment at Texas. Their student section sucked until overtime, and it took up the entire, I believe it was the A&M sideline and 3.
Apparently, it's like a cult.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have some cult vibes, and those dudes are weird. It's
cringe.
It's a weird school. Well, I mean,
apparently, like they have like groupies.
I'd believe it. I mean, I would 100% believe it.
Like that. I heard this comparison today. It's like getting with the starting quarterback is the Yell Leader at Texas A&M.
Terrible.
Yeah, that makes it even worse.
To be fair, would you rather get with Haynes King or the guy wearing coveralls? At this point, I don't know if there's a win. So I get it right now.
I'd have to see both of them speak in a public setting because, good God, that dude was trying to make everybody laugh, and it was,
It's interesting for sure.
Yeah,
I
mean, we've had some cringe moments probably on this podcast, but
it's all we do is cringe. That's our
but man,
we kind of like lean into it, right?
Yeah,
I think
it wasn't like that.
No, they don't lean into it. They don't. I will say this for A&M.
Him laughing at his own jokes is probably the worst part.
Yeah, that's like, are they trying to do stand up? That's kind of my biggest confusion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's weird.
It's like, just yell. Isn't that your job?
They do this weird thing. Every time they start a cheer, they put their leg up like that, and they like start it, and they're like, it's very strange. That's how they start every cheer, though. I'm like, how do you know what chant to do? Yeah, it's a weird thing. A&M fans are awesome, though.
No, they're not.
Landon, they bought every drink for me after a loss.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gone out that night because I was very broke, very sad and broke. And, yeah, so no complaints here.
But the Yell Leaders suck.
Yeah, they're weird. Apparently, they also throw them into a fountain after the win. Like any grown man willing to be thrown into water, red flags. Huge red flags.
Big sus.
Yes. My only more important issue with more important issues tonight is SEC baseball. We need to get out of here. Actually, sorry, not SEC baseball. Well, sort of Tennessee baseball. This isn't super popular. You see it sometimes. Who's a team you want to go home and home with? Series not in the SEC that you'd like to see home and home matchup.
Not in the SEC.
Not in the SEC. So out of conference, they have to schedule it. We go to Arizona this year. I think we went to Houston last year. Those are tournaments.
Yeah.
What's a team you'd like to see come to Knoxville, Tennessee? Go Austin the year after. Whatever.
I think Miami would. UNC would be cool. Miami would be cool. I'm trying to think of something like semi-close where people would travel to.
Oh, Buffalo can travel anywhere. That's why I immediately thought of Oregon
Yeah,
State.
Oregon State, that would be cool.
Corvallis, yeah. Corvallis.
Um, yeah, I think those.
Yeah,
I
like
wouldn't say a
those.
Big
Florida State.
10.
Speaking of Florida schools, Florida State would be a good one.
Yeah, I think Texas. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think that anytime that you can play like the other UT,
which will
the
happen
fake
soon,
UT,
yeah, sure.
would be cool.
I think like in Arizona State, Arizona. I know they're not great at baseball, but going out to because like I feel like you have to schedule teams.
Arizona's good.
Weather. So yeah, I think those would be good ones. But I think Oregon State, little orange on orange matchup. They've got a rowdy crowd too. I think it would be a good kind of Spider-Man meme type deal.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, Oregon State would be a really good one.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of who else is like good, and I mean it's
there's
pretty much just SEC dominant.
Yeah, that's kind of the tough part. Like you would think like maybe like a Michigan or like Nebraska would be good, but it wouldn't be a great series.
Right.
But I mean, probably cool to go to and have them come here, sure. But you also, if you go to Oregon State, good series. Go to Florida State, go to Miami, good series. Go to UNC, like those are all good series and good places.
Clemson would be cool too.
Yeah, Clemson would be cool.
Yeah, pretty much ACC.
Still good. I know they won in like 16. Are they still any good?
I think they're okay.
That might be a good matchup to go home and home with.
Yeah, I'd like to see it.
You get a recent national champion in there. Why not?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think Memphis would be cool. Like some of those.
Yeah, Memphis.
I know they're playing in Jackson this fall, so yeah, seeing the kind of Memphis crowd in there would be cool. Going to Houston and beating up on Kiv would be cool.
He didn't reply to me. We're going to have to text him about our recruiting visit. App State, I don't know how good of a baseball team. Beautiful park.
That would be cool. Yep. Agreed.
Beautiful park. Tucker Jackson mentioned that. He also said the rivers flow differently in Alabama and Kentucky, talking about the incest jokes. Hey, listen, I'll gladly make fun of Alabama and Kentucky with everybody. I'm just also aware that the joke doesn't make sense. Like, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's different in Mississippi.
Oh, Mississippi's concerning.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's part of America. Like, it's that weird.
Yeah. It is. It's not even the butthole. It's like the. It's like the inside of a butthole.
Oh. Mississippi State, or the state of Mississippi and College Station, Texas aren't part of America. They're their own deal.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's all I got to say about that.
About that. All right, that's all I got.
Yeah, it's been fun as always. I feel like we had a ton of fun talking Akron this week, so you're not gonna find many of that. Shout out for everybody that's listening. Shout out to everybody that comes to the tailgate. If you don't come, I hate you. You can come to Florida, but I hate you. Hope to see everyone there Saturday. It's gonna be a good time. We're gonna be out there. Shout out to Hamlin Goodies again. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Can't wait.
Yeah, come through. We'll be there around noonish.
And hey, don't feel like if you're like, hey, I can't come and hang out. Just if you're walking by, stop by, say hey, grab a beer, grab a bite to eat, grab a cookie. Tucker will be in lot. I think it's C18 technically. It is just below Church Street United Methodist Church. It's the city lot across from. It's technically the World's Fair lot.
Yeah, so it's at Poplar Street and Cumberland Avenue.
Yes, and we will tweet out the location. We'll try to be against the brick, concrete, whatever you want to call it, wall, like we normally are.
You'll hear us.
You'll definitely hear us. I've got our new speaker in the background. Yeah, it'll be fun. So I feel like some people feel like if they come, they have to stay the whole time. You don't. Just come say hey.
Caleb,
we normally
are we going big on foam fingers this year?
Dude, I want a foam finger so bad. I want a foam finger so bad. I tried to get Jonathan to buy me one against Ball State. He said no.
Really?
I was kind of joking, but if he had bought me one, I would have not denied it. So, they're probably ridiculously expensive inside the stadium.
Oh yeah, it's probably like $15 for a piece of
But
foam.
yeah, I would love a foam finger. I want to sit with you against Akron. I also may have an extra ticket available for anybody that wants to go. So come to the tailgate. That's probably where I'll hand it out at. I'd like to sit with you during that game, but it just depends on maybe a sellout. You may not have seats next to you. So if I do sit next to you,
The two in front of me are always open.
True. If they are, I'm buying us foam fingers, and we're going just foam finger crazy. I might buy 2 each.
Is it okay if this is a basketball one? But it doesn't say basketball.
Hey,
Can it fit?
We're still turning me up.
Turn me up, baby.
Still turning me up.
Even though this is the wrong hand, I just realized like the thumb is over here. So here we go. All right, guys, we appreciate y'all. Have a good Friday, and Saturday's game day. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.